The fire crackled in the stone fireplace of what my parents still called the family estate. I sat in the leather wingback chair, the one I'd had reupholstered 2 years ago, watching my family exchange gifts around the 12-foot Christmas tree. Mom handed my brother Trevor a small envelope with a red bow. "This one's special. From your father and me." Trevor was 37, recently divorced, and living in a rental apartment after his ex-wife got their house in the settlement. I was 33, unmarried, and according to family legend, married to my work. "Open it, son," Dad urged, his voice thick with emotion. Trevor tore open the envelope and pulled out a single sheet of paper. His eyes widened. "Is this?" "The deed to the estate," Mom said, tears already forming. "We're signing it over to you. It's time this house had a family in it again." My sister Lauren squealed. "Oh my God, Trevor. You're getting the house. The family estate. 4 acres in the countryside, a sprawling stone manor built in 1924, 6 bedrooms, original hardwood floors, a library, a conservatory. The house where we'd grown up. The house my great-grandfather had built. The house that had been in the Rodriguez family for 3 generations. We wanted you to have something stable after the divorce," Dad said. "A fresh start. A real home." Trevor's eyes filled with tears. "I don't know what to say." "You don't have to say anything," Mom said, pulling him into a hug. "You're our son. Family takes care of family." I took a sip of my wine, a 2016 Burlot from the cellar I'd been stocking for 5 years, and checked my phone under the guise of reading a text. The courthouse filing showed 2:47 p.m. December 18, 5 days ago. Right on schedule. "Sophia, aren't you happy for your brother?" Mom asked, noticing my silence. "Very happy," I said evenly. "You could show a little more enthusiasm," Lauren said. "This is a big moment for Trevor." "It certainly is," I agreed. Trevor was studying the paper, his expression shifting from joy to confusion. "Wait. This says it's a quitclaim deed template. It's not. This isn't filled out." "We'll do that after the holidays," Dad said quickly. "We wanted you to have something to open on Christmas. The actual transfer will happen in January." "The lawyer's already drawing up the paperwork," Mom added. "It's all arranged." I set down my wine glass. "Which lawyer?" "Martin and Associates downtown," Dad said. "Why?" "Just curious." I pulled out my phone again. "Actually, I think there might be a small problem with your plan." "What kind of problem?" Trevor asked, still clutching his empty deed. "Well, you can't transfer property you don't own." The room went quiet except for the crackling fire. "What are you talking about?" Dad's voice had an edge to it. "This house has been in my family for 3 generations." "Was in your family," I corrected gently. Past tense. Mom laughed nervously. "Sophia, if this is some kind of joke." "It's not a joke." "Dad, when did you last check the actual property records?" "I don't need to check records for my own house." "Humor me." "When?" He stared at me. "I don't know. Years ago. When we refinanced." "That would be about 6 years ago," I said. "A lot has changed since then." Trevor set down the empty deed. "What is she talking about?" I opened my email and pulled up a PDF. "This is the current property deed for 847 Riverside Manor Drive, recorded with the county clerk. Would you like me to read the owner's name?" "This is ridiculous," Dad started. "Rodriguez Family Trust," I read. "Established March 2019. Sole trustee and beneficiary, Sophia Marie Rodriguez." Complete silence. "That's not possible," Mom whispered. I pulled up another document. "This is the original transfer agreement signed by Gerald Rodriguez. That's you, Dad, on March 15, 2019. You transferred the property to the family trust to avoid estate taxes. The lawyer recommended it. Martin and Associates, actually. Same firm you just mentioned." Dad's face had gone pale. "That trust was supposed to be for all the children." "That's what you assumed. But you never actually read the trust documents, did you? You signed where Martin told you to sign." I scrolled through my phone. "The trust clearly names me as sole trustee with full control of the property. It was set up that way specifically because I'm the only one who didn't have a spouse or dependents at the time. Cleaner legal structure." "This is insane," Lauren said. "Why wouldn't they tell us?" "They did tell you. Mom sent an email in March 2019 saying they'd put the house in trust for estate planning. You responded with a thumbs up emoji. I pulled up the email thread and showed it to her. Her face flushed. But we live here, Mom said desperately. This is our home. You've been living here rent-free for 6 years, yes. The trust allows for that. Parents retain lifetime residence rights. But you can't transfer property you don't legally own. Trevor looked like he might be sick. So the Christmas gift is worthless. You can't deed away a house that belongs to someone else. Dad found his voice and it was shaking with rage. You conniving little. Careful, I said softly. I'm your landlord now. Might want to watch your tone. Landlord? Mom shrieked. Trustee technically. But functionally yes. The property is mine to manage as I see fit. Within the terms of the trust, of course, which are quite generous to you both. Lifetime residence, no rent, all maintenance covered. But those terms don't extend to Trevor. Or anyone else. Why would you do this? Trevor's voice broke. I'm your brother. I didn't do anything. Dad set up the trust. He signed the papers. He just never bothered to read them carefully. I took another sip of wine. And for the record, I've been paying the property taxes for 6 years. $28,000 annually. I've also covered a new roof, HVAC replacement, foundation repairs, and that kitchen renovation Mom wanted. Total investment of about $340,000. The numbers hung in the air like smoke. You never said anything, Mom whispered. You never asked. You assumed Dad still owned it. You assumed you could give it away. You assumed I was too busy with my career thing to care about family property. My career thing. I was VP of operations at a Fortune 500 tech company, pulling in $380,000 annually, but they'd never asked about the specifics. This is wrong, Lauren said. Legally, maybe you're right, but morally. Morally. I cut her off. Let's talk about morals. Trevor, where were you 6 years ago when the roof was leaking into the conservatory? He looked away. You were in Cabo. Lauren, where were you 3 years ago when the foundation needed emergency repairs? I had just had the baby. You were posting Instagram photos from your beach house renovation. And Mom, Dad, when I asked you both to contribute to the property taxes, what did you say? Silence. You said it was Dad's house, Dad's responsibility. You said I was being dramatic about the costs. So I handled it. I created an LLC, worked with tax attorneys, made it all legal and clean. I've been managing this property like a business because none of you wanted to treat it like the financial burden it actually is. So what now? Dad asked, his voice hollow. You're going to kick us out? No. The trust terms are clear. You have lifetime residence rights. But Trevor isn't moving in. This isn't becoming his fresh start. And if you try to forge documents or claim otherwise, I'll have my attorney pursue charges for attempted fraud. Trevor dropped the empty deed on the coffee table like it was contaminated. I can't believe you'd do this at Christmas. I didn't do anything at Christmas. You all did. You decided to give away my property without consulting me. I'm just correcting the record before this got legally messy. Mom was crying now. All those years we raised you, everything we sacrificed. Every sacrifice you made for your children, you made for Trevor and Lauren. I was the afterthought. The one who didn't need help, because I was so independent. The one who didn't get college tuition because I got scholarships. The one who didn't get a wedding fund because I wasn't dating anyone. The one who apparently doesn't deserve to be consulted about the family property I've been maintaining for 6 years. That's not fair, Lauren protested weakly. Fair? You got a $50,000 wedding. Trevor got $30,000 to invest in his business that failed in 6 months. I got a $200 graduation check and a lecture about living within my means. So don't talk to me about fair. I stood up, smoothing my dress. I'm going to bed. My attorney will call Martin and Associates after the holidays to clarify the property status. Trevor, I'm sorry you got your hopes up, but this was never yours to have. Mom, Dad, we'll talk about property management expectations in the new year. I'm thinking it's time you started contributing to maintenance costs. You can't do that. Dad shouted. I pulled up the trust documents on my phone and turned the screen toward him. Section 7.3. Trustee may require residents to contribute proportionally to property maintenance exceeding $10,000 annually. I've been covering everything out of pocket. That ends now. This is extortion. Mom cried. This is property management. You've been living rent-free in $1 million estate for 6 years. That's about $12,000 monthly in imputed rental value. I've been more than generous. I walked to the doorway, then turned back. Oh, and Trevor? The guest room you were eyeing for your home office? That's my room when I visit. Always has been. Don't get any ideas. I climbed the stairs to my bedroom, the one I'd furnished myself, the one with the view of the gardens I'd been maintaining, and closed the door on the chaos below. My phone exploded immediately. Group text after group text. Trevor. This is bullshit, you're stealing my future. Lauren, how can you be so cold? Mom, we should have left you at the hospital. That last one I screenshot for my records. Might need it later. Then came the individual messages. Trevor alternating between rage and pleading. Lauren trying emotional manipulation. Mom and Dad tag teaming with guilt trips. I blocked the group chat and set individual contacts to do not disturb. At 11 p.m. my attorney Richard Chen called. Merry Christmas. I'm assuming from the 17 voicemails on my office line that dinner didn't go well. They tried to give Trevor the house. The house you own. The house I own. He sighed. I warned you this might happen when we set up the trust. Family property gets messy. I wanted to believe they wouldn't just assume. That they'd at least ask. People see what they want to see. Your father saw family trust and thought family property. He didn't read the fine print about sole trustee authority. His lawyer should have explained it better. His lawyer probably did. Your father heard what he wanted to hear. Richard paused. So what do you want to do? Legally you're completely covered. The property is yours. But family law gets complicated when emotions are involved. I want them to understand this isn't negotiable. The house is mine. I've earned it by maintaining it. And they can't promise it to Trevor like it's theirs to give. I'll call Martin and Associates on the 26th. Clarify the property status. Make sure everyone understands the legal reality. Thank you. For what it's worth, Sophia, you did the right thing. Family doesn't get to take advantage just because they're family. After we hung up, I stood at my bedroom window looking out over the estate. The gardens I'd landscaped. The stone wall I'd had repaired. The fountain I'd had restored. Every decision, every dollar, every hour of maintenance. Mine. They'd called it the family estate for so long they'd forgotten who was actually keeping it standing. Not anymore.